When I heard there was going to be no school for the next 2 weeks, I immediately hopped my little ass on Fortnite and played it for like the next 14 hours.
I'm not gonna lie though, that shit probably cooked so many people's like social experiences and because if you were growing up at that time and it was during your developmental years, that definitely had an effect on you. Why I miss lockdown. Okay, yeah, this sounds good. Let's check this out.
As of late, I've been thinking about how the year.
Check this out. Why I miss. Let me actually put the marker. Why I miss lockdown. Let's get it.
As of late, I've been thinking about how the year 2020 was already 5 years ago. During this.
God damn, feels like we in a time skip. I be thinking that too. I'm like, where'd that time go? But that's just what happens when you get older, because the value of a day means less and less and less as you get older. So let's say you're 2 years old, right? 1 year will feel like forever because that's half of your life. You see what I'm saying? So when you're 20, 1 year doesn't mean anything because that's only a small percentage. And as you get older, that percentage only goes down and time only goes by faster because it's in relation to your entire life. I'm not gonna lie though, with lockdown, man, I had to work. I was working in that bitch. Oh my God, I wish next lockdown, next panoramic we have, bro, I'm staying at the crib. I'm getting unemployment. I'm watching all the anime. I wish I would have, bro. What? Everybody was watching anime. They were watching streams, doing whatever. Oh my God. When did I do that? Like a few months ago. But yeah, like I would, bro, next panoramic, like I'm going to be kicking it, bro.
Time, I was an awkward 15-year-old who was nervous but excited to experience just a normal time in high school. I knew one thing.
I was like, what, 21? I was working at Amazon delivering packages, bro. And I remember I was delivering packages and I literally passed off. I remember people used to be like, they will open the door because they see I was there. And like, I would be like at the driveway. They'd be like, you can just leave it right there. And it would say it's so scared. You can just leave it right there. That shit was one of the best things ever because it was like, everything was clean. We were all using hand sanitizer. Nobody wanted to bother you or be around you. That was a good ass time. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like we took that shit for granted. Just play Fort, watch anime, and beat my shit. Yo, what the hell? I'm not gonna lie. That's what my little brother was doing, bro. Except beating. I don't know if he was beating it. But like he would have his laptop and he would set it up and he would just make it seem like he's paying attention. Whole time he's playing 2K. Like I swear to God, literally. I mean, you're kind of scary looking. No, I'm not, bro. Are you, Bosme, we'll talk about that later. We're not talking about that right now.
For certain, I was not going to let anybody ruin this experience for me. Not one single thing.
On Monday in China, it suffered its highest number of deaths in one day. 103 people.
And then the entire planet shut down. That was fun. Okay, now obviously 2020 didn't go as planned. It didn't matter if you were a 15-year-old in the United States or a 45-year-old in Paris. Everybody was affected by this. The only ones who are probably safe are those random remote jungle tribes in the middle of the ocean. Now, for those of you who are too young to experience what happened, or if this video is being
I worked in construction, so on COVID, the lumber yards you would get, the lumber yards you could get out of the truck, they would load the truck with lumber for you. That was pretty good. Oh my God, that's lit.
Played in a museum 100 years from now. Either way, allow me.
Not gonna lie, I really thought people were dying for like the first 2 weeks. Then I realized it wasn't that big a deal, bro. People were dying. People were dying, but at the end of the day, it's like, you didn't die. And I know that shit sound crazy, but it's like, you know what I mean? But I'd be completely, no, if you was healthy, you was fine. But if you were like, if you had like, what is it called? If you had like a compromised immune system, or if you had like underlying conditions, or you were just old as shit, the likelihood that you would die was really high. You know what I mean?
Explain what exactly happened and how 2020 lockdown came to be. Now everything started off normal.
Right.
Spring break had literally just
No, I had got that shit like 2 years after. I had got COVID in like 2022. I didn't even get it in 2020 or 2021. I got that shit in 2022 and that shit hit me like a brick because I was hot and cold at the same time. I was laying in bed. That shit felt different. I was like, like literally that was like the craziest thing ever because I haven't actually, bro, I haven't been sick in like so long. So when I was sick then, that shit was crazy. And I had found out because I had went to like an anime convention at that time and I hung out with some friends and he was like, yeah, I passed it to you. Luckily I never got it. Damn. Yeah, you did get lucky. Or maybe you did. You were just asymptomatic. Who knows?
Finished for my high school. And
That's what I'm
nothing
saying. I
seemed too
rarely
out of
get
the
sick.
ordinary. I mean, during the break, there had been talks of a new virus that was originating out of China, but nothing was going to come out of it, right?
Bro,
Besides,
the
China
series of Asian jokes that was going around. Oh my God.
is across the world, so we had nothing to worry about. Until days passed, and we saw more and more reports of people getting sick with this new mystery virus. It spread from China to Europe to North America within days, and before I knew it, we were getting a 2-week
How
break
did
from
that spread?
I'm pretty sure everybody was hyped at the fact that we had to do nothing for 2 weeks. When I heard there was going to be no school for the next 2 weeks, I immediately hopped my little ass on Fortnite and played it for like the next 14 hours. I'm
not gonna lie though, that shit probably cooked so many people's like social experiences and because if you were growing up at that time and it was during your developmental years, that definitely had an effect on you.
Have my own children, I'm going to describe lockdown as truly one of the hardest
Oh,
times
wow.
of my life, where I was depleted of social interactions and I was the most alone I've
If I
ever
have to do
felt
Zoom again, I got all the methods not to go to class. What? Are you serious?
in my life. It was just so hard, knowing damn well that I was doing nothing but watching TikToks, playing Fortnite for 13 hours a day, gooning and eating chips. Now, yes, boo-hoo,
See, I'm not gonna lie. If I was on some shit like that, like if I was not working, I would have just been on some. I would have been on some shit that I was on now. You know, like I just would have been on some content.
hang out with people, so what?
But at that time, I wasn't even on TikTok. I was trying to do YouTube, and I was like reacting to like music videos and shit. You know, but I was like hella consistent at that time. Though. I was definitely locked in. I was working a job. I'd come home, film, edit the video, and then get it out every single day almost. Gang, I couldn't even. Are you serious? You couldn't even do your times table? Can't lie. If you covered Minecraft, yeah, bro, you would definitely be up. Oh my God, everybody was watching my, yeah. That's
an
true.
awkward teenager who had absolutely zero social skills. So like, bro, for me, this was the best possible outcome that could have occurred. I remember some days I would wake up at 2 p.m. and immediately start scrolling on TikTok for hours on end, knowing damn well I hadn't showered in the past 3 days. It was bad, bro. I'm telling you, there were some stinky dudes. I'd be waking up so late that the only thing I would eat is dinner. I was definitely walking around my house emanating green aura with flies. It was bad. It was during this 2-week break
crazy.
that eventually all unnecessary activities are to be put on hold, and measures like social distancing and quarantines were put in place. Face masks became mandatory in places all over
I used to hate that. That shit used to suffocate me.
world. I'd go to Walmart and everybody would be masked up.
I'm not gonna lie, that was the only interaction that you would get is if you went to Walmart. So I remember people were like putting on fits and like making a big deal of going to the grocery store. Do you remember that?
For designated spots where you could and couldn't stand. Hand sanitizer is in every possible location. And the only thing that was
That's
hard
crazy.
to find
Boards
was
on all the
toilet
hoops.
paper. People were stocking up.
Yo, that's one thing I never understood. That's how you know people are bots. Cause why the f did you run and take all the toilet paper? If you think about it, none of the vitamins was sold out. None of like the good food was sold out. None of the that was actually, none of the vitamin C was sold out. Toilet paper. The shit that you don't actually need. That's crazy.
On toilet paper like the next day.
Nizzy, would you have gotten I would never get a girlfriend. I just hope you understand that. That is bro, that sounds like some Discord kitten. I'm good. I would never be that down bad. Nizzy the type of guy to use all the toilet paper on the first day. Come on, bro. How you gonna clean your ass? Gang, you just get a bidet or you get some wipes. Did you not think of that? Do you know that like in other cultures outside the United States, they don't use toilet paper? A lot of them use a bucket or like a bidet. Like in Asia, they use the bidet. They spray water up in your booty hole and they get that out. Or like if you go to certain countries, you get the bucket of water, you scoop the water, and then you clean your ass with the water. You know that, right? A lot of places, they see the toilet paper, if you think about it, is low-key unsanitary. Because you're just smearing. Nizzy wants us to live like Indians. No, it'd be like that, like in Africa and like other countries like that. Bro, because if you think about it, if you're using dry toilet paper, right, you're smearing on your ass like peanut butter, bro. Yeah, you didn't want to hear that, though. Exactly.
Going to be the apocalypse. Finding toilet paper
You
at
a
the
wet
time.
booty type of guy. I did not say that. But if you're wiping dry with dry, it's gonna just smear. You probably got dookie crumbs all up in your ass. Talking about a wet booty type of guy. Would you rather have a wet, clean booty or would you rather have a dookie booty?
was like finding a rare Pokemon card just sitting on the ground. You would have better luck winning the lottery than finding 3 rolls of Charmin Ultra Soft. There were a couple days in my household where we had no toilet paper, and I'm telling you, if we ran out of paper towel, bro, I would have started using my old Angry Birds t-shirts from the 2nd grade. Before we knew it, these 2 weeks of no school slowly turned
did you know that toilet paper is like a modern invention because of the adaptation of the human diet? Back in the day, you wouldn't need toilet paper because your shit would just come out like in a clump because of the diets that humans used to eat. Yes. So you would just pop a squat in the woods, that shit would just come out, and boom, you'd be good. It'd be like a pellet, you know what I'm saying? But the way that the human diet has evolved now, it's like, that's why it's all squishy and shit now.
There are just going to be no classes for the foreseeable future. All future classes will instead be held online within video call platforms like Zoom and Google Classrooms. All right, I'm just gonna get one thing out of the way. I don't think I once at all showed up to any of these classes on time, if I even bothered to show up in the first place.
Deadass.
You're telling me that I had to wake up at 8 a.m. after staying up nearly all night playing games and shooting blanks on TikTok to attend a 30-minute Zoom call that the teacher doesn't even want to be in? Yeah, I'm going back to sleep. I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. I'm pretty sure that a good 50% of you watching this video right now did the exact same thing. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that I was failing school pretty bad. I've never been the best in school to
How did you fail during that time? Do you know how many people, bro, people were cheating generationally, bro. How do you fail online school? All the answers is online.
But this was bad for my standards. Shortly after, though, our school board came out and said that anything done after the...
Bro, we literally live in a time where it's no student left behind. Bro, if you just show up, they'll pass you.
Beginning of the lockdown would not count towards our final grade. Yeah, I suppose you could say that me not showing up to online class was truly an alpha.
See? He didn't show up.
Power move, because at the end of the day, it wouldn't even matter in the first place. You gotta think smarter, my friends, not harder. Time is money. And I would spend that time sleeping. Also, wearing a mask was ass. I'm not here to argue whether you think masks worked or they didn't work. I'm here to argue that they made me tired of smelling my hot ass breath. There were times where I'd have to wake up super early to go out somewhere and I'd wear a mask and I had no time to brush my teeth. So for the next hour, I'd just be sitting there smelling my morning stank the entire time I was out of the house. See, but when you tried to put a breath mint in your mouth to maybe neutralize the stink, it would just redirect your breath directly into your eyeballs. So if you weren't already in tears about how rancid your morning breath was, you would definitely be crying about the amount of menthol that your eyes are being exposed to. Now listen, at first, lockdown was amazing. School was no longer going.
It was just so, for me, it was hard to breathe in that. Like, I just felt like I was really suffocated.
Many people didn't have to go to work anymore, and because everybody was too scared
I wish I would've got the fucking unemployment, bro. I was a essential worker and I didn't need a handout. If I could go back in time, I would grab myself by the collar and shake myself and be like, what the is wrong with you, man? Tighten the up. Right, literally.
Food delivery services like DoorDash and Uber Eats became a super popular option.
Hell yeah.
All I was doing was eating delivered McDonald's and playing video games all day long.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I was doing that Instacart when the news first broke. I was getting career highs, bro. That's when you deliver people's groceries. I was making so much bank.
And obviously, with very little physical activity, I started to get a wee bit rotund. My circumference was getting larger by the week, and it's because of this that I started to feel the first few negatives of lockdown. Trust me, sitting around
I was on my gazer
was fun for a few weeks, but after around the 2-month mark, you really start to realize what's going on. In my mind, I started to think that maybe this isn't all it's cracked up to be, and you start to miss the simple things like just going for a bike ride with your friend.
Dang, you could have went on a bike. You could have still did that.
Or just going to the movies, simple things. I think once summer break of 2020 rolled around is when we started to notice the actual effects of lockdown. For example, the class of 2020 wasn't able to get an official graduation. Instead, most schools opted out for a Zoom call, and that's
most people were just driving around in their cars. I remember that. I remember, like, around this time, I was kicking it with my homeboy, so we would, like, legitimately, I'll go work, come home, wash up, and then sometimes I'll go kick it at his house. We would chief. We'll walk outside, chief, watch YouTube, watch anime, just talk about shit. And there was some times where we would walk around or we'd go get something to eat. And then during that time, I remember they were like driving around his neighborhood in cars, and everybody was like honking, and they were just like making a big deal out of it. At that time, low-key.
I was lucky enough to get an actual graduation. You know how pissed I would be if I went through 12 years of just to be sitting there on a Zoom call? I know that was awkward as hell too. They were just sitting at their screen like, Tokimon, Stickman, congratulations on your graduation. Are you kidding me? Tons of people were also getting laid off of their jobs due to not being able to keep up with the rapidly changing environment. Even my dad had to work from home at one point, and our apartment was so small that he had absolutely nowhere to set up his workstation. So he had to put it in my room, and I would regularly wake up at like 6 a.m. to hear my dad on a work meeting or tip-tapping away at his keyboard. I was having so little real-life social interactions with people that I would dream that I was hanging out with my friend, only for it to be shattered by hearing. As summer break went on, I was really starting to feel bad. I missed being able to see my friends and even my family because of this entire lockdown.
How did you not see your family?
Just as simple as hopping on Fortnite and playing games for hours a day because I was starting to really get bored of it. I got so bored of playing Fortnite that I camo grinded both different types of skins on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. And also, you gotta keep in mind that I was starting to get fat as hell during this point. That DoorDash and sweet chili Doritos were really starting to take a toll on me, both physically and mentally. Sure, I could go online and make friends, play games, but I was missing that face-to-face with people. And to put it bluntly, this is where I started getting depressed.
I never played Cold War.
And I know for a fact I wasn't the only.
I'm starting to see this rewriting of history where people are nostalgic for the 2020 lockdown, and I am very confused. I was under the impression we were all deeply depressed / going insane. That 2020 was objectively a terrible year for humanity. Was this not the collective experience? All the money in the world can convince me to relive that era. I feel like if human beings aren't meant to just sit in the house all day, bro. Like, our minds are too complex for that. Oh no. I feel like I just do that. Bro, that lockdown, that's like my everyday life. I'm not gonna lie.
Only one who felt this way because I've talked to so many people my age and they felt the same way. So what I used to do is I would go on walks late at night. The apartment that me and my family lived in at the time was on the basement floor, so my window would lead straight to the grass near the sidewalk. So on those nights when it was like 2 a.m. and I just couldn't sleep, I would get out of my bed, hop out the window, and just go for a walk around the neighborhood.
Bro, going for a walk is one of the best things for you. Eat some fruit, go for a walk, listen to some music, and see how good you feel.
Without a mask or nothing. I would just take in the night.
Gang, walking out in a neighborhood by yourself when nobody's awake with a mask is actually weird. What the are you even wearing a mask for?
Air and finally feel freedom for the first time in quite a while.
COVID is not gonna jump out the corner and rob you, gang.
What I like to do is I would walk the mile to the skate park and I would just sit there alone with my thoughts and take everything in. I didn't have to worry about no social distancing or having to use hand sanitizer every 45 seconds. At these times where I would just walk around the neighborhood, I would feel like it was just me being able to get a break from all the chaos that was going on within the world. It was such a good refresh for me mentally just to be able to walk around and just unwind, relax. And I know for a fact that me and so many other people who are in my generation didn't have a normal time to grow up and be teenagers. And it's just a fact that we did miss out on certain things. And that sucks, like really bad. But at the same time, I'm super happy that I got to have such a unique experience.
Obviously, I can't do that at night. What, you're gonna get pressed?
After about a year or so, things started to settle down. Mandates were lifted. People were able to go back to school, go back to their jobs. And it was really awesome being able to go outside and interact.
You know what's crazy? We're gonna all tell, like, imagine having grandchildren and you're like, so granddad, how was 2020? I heard it was a scary year. We learned about it in school. How will you feel having to explain that to your grandchild?
And just live life again. It's crazy to think that this wasn't like 2 years ago. This was 5 years ago. This was half a decade. Bro, that is
Oh, no! Oh, don't say that.
A long time. Before we know it, we're gonna wake up and be old as hell.
Geezers.
If I learned anything from the entire lockdown, it's that I can't be locked in for too long. Having no responsibilities is fun, up to a certain extent. Being isolated is not fun. I hope this was a fun little bit of...
I would low-key cap about what I was doing, knowing I was living like a... What were you saying, bro?
Huh?
What are you talking about?
Nostalgia down memory lane for the better or worse. If you guys want to watch more, check out this video. It's pretty cool. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next week and love you.
Yo, this was a good video. This was hella good. Oh my God. Let me subscribe. Tokimon. This was a good video. Very relatable. Who wins, 100 Wolves or Nizzy? Me. The worst people to... Yo, this is actually fire. W Rex, hold on. Tote is on a generational run. Yo, should I just let Tote pick the reactions from now on? Should I just let him cook? Because you low-key on a generational run right now. I can't lie.